What's the motherfucking tea, everybody? Okay, the girls tried me this week. The girls tried me on Snatch Game. But listen, you can't deny a real bad bitch. And you know what? I'm here with a special guest, and we're gonna wake it up. Mistress Monday. We're gonna have a special edition on the YouTube channel this Wednesday. I'm with the motherfucking baddie, bitch. She don't need no introduction. Let's let her speak for herself.
Back at shot o'clock, bitch. You ready to have fun?
Girl, I'm fucking screaming. Listen, tune into the YouTube this Wednesday, and we're gonna talk all things baddies, and we're gonna give the ultimate guide on how to be a motherfucking baddie.
Period.
So let's get to that bag, bitch, and stop all that fucking talking.
Yeah.
The girls are in the building. Hi, everybody. Sorry we're a little bit late. I just got out the shower. Had to do my little 1-2. Okay, y'all, let me preface this live with this. I hope it's not a complete chop. I am in the hotel. If I have shitty Wi-Fi, don't blame me. Let's do a little test before we get started. Can everyone see and hear me? Can y'all see and hear Aja? There's no lag, and you know what I mean?
Well, guys,
can we get some thumbs up in the chat? Some hearts, a little 1-2. This is a safe space. We're gonna say Aja was here last time we did a review with Candy. Candy done popped in the whole house of Aja. We're gonna get it together. But in the meantime, let me just say this. We are gonna spill a lot of tea because we are some real ass bitches. So, you know, say what you gotta say. If it's too much, we'll cut it out. But the girls will girl. Mistress without lashes, a little shocking. Look, I couldn't put on my lashes because I wanted to be on time as I touch up my mug. I'm giving fresh fish face. Now let me ask you this question before we get started. Can I say fish, Aja? Do you find that offensive? What is your opinion on fish?
you know, I say fish all the time. I mean, to me, fish is not really woman. It's just like, bro, it's just like when somebody's fish is like, it's giving stunty cunty. Like, I don't know, girl. No, I don't know who made it about like a smell.
Just as sweet as St. Lucia.
But it never had nothing to do with that.
Okay, okay, look, it is Aja's internet. Okay, they keep saying that it's your internet. Just restart the Wi-Fi. They said Aja speaking through a toaster. If you're new around here, first of all, thank you for tuning into a very extra special Mistress Monday. I am in between gigs. Aja and I are on and off planes, baby, doing our big one. I'm here, no lashes, fresh out the shower. I have to touch up and go to my gig here in San Diego, but I had to come and give you this live because we all saw the foolishness that was Snatch Game, and I think we need to clear some things up and, you know, give the ultimate key. So, Aja, what are your thoughts on Snatch Game, baby? What's the tea? How are you feeling? What are you doing? Are you inside Isha La Condola?
Baby, let me tell you something. I just was very unsure when I saw the Snatch Game, if it was the same Snatch Game that we had filmed. I was like, okay. And you know, this is fresh. This happened, 3 weeks ago? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I remember this going a completely different way. But I'm not going to lie. When we were getting our deliberations, you know what it gives. When they call us out, we don't really know what's going to go on. And then after I heard the critiques and stuff, I was like, okay. You know, because there was girls that I felt who got called safe should have been scored lower. Because, I mean, we're going to wake it up. Daya should have been in the bottom too. She may have looked like the bitch. She might have talked like the bitch. But you know that everything she said was deadpan except for that one answer.
There was quite a few girls. All the critiques did not make no sense. They edited to make me look delusional as fuck. But with that being said, before we jump in and start reading, let me just say this and preface this. I speak for Aja and myself. We love Drag Race. We love World of Wonder. We're not blaming on the edit. I, for one, speaking for myself now, I enjoy it. Make me look delusional, make me look crazy. But also, you can't get mad when we share the truth, when we share both sides of the coin. You know what I mean? I think it was very, very foolish. And I feel like for some reason, I was simply here to be Ginger's bully and Ginger's scapegoat. But that's not what it was given in real life. So I was like kind of watching it and gagging, bitch. They completely shredded me. But you know what's the ultimate gag? Why I thought it was the motherfucking fool, but Natalie Nunn posted me everywhere. Zeus Network posted me everywhere, talking about they loved it. Natalie's honored. That's when you know that you're really that girl. And I know if Mother Cookie Tookie was here, she would have lived, bitch. Isha La Condola, full coverage mortician.
No shade, bitch. I was ready for that. Isha La Condola. I was waiting for all of that. And it was just like, girl, I had to do a little rewind. Like, did I miss it? And then I was like, oh,
Well, that's why I mean, for years it kind of sucked more because they cut out so many of your funny moments. But like because I told you before we even went there, I was like, I fucking love Cookie Tookie. Me and Banji send her memes all the fucking time. I love and live. And they cut out all your funny moments. And then with me, they cut the laugh track from everything I was saying, but they wanted to showcase me flopping so much that people were just putting two and two together. Like, what? Like, this is not giving flop, it's giving that y'all cut all the funny moments. But with that being said, let's jump in. If you're new around here, thank you for tuning in to another Mistress Monday. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because when you do, I can bring amazing guests just like today's. Joining us, we have, babe, this bitch needs no introduction. She's been on multiple seasons of Drag Race. She's almost the next Ginger Minj or Juju B. We're going to get right into it. The amazing Aja is joining us today, and we're going to uncover the truth about Snatch Game and really dissect things. If you like reviews like this, if you like content like this, go click on the link below. Join my Patreon because every week I do episode reviews of All Stars 10 while it's airing. I have amazing guests. I've had a lot of amazing guests like Banji, Georges. I've had Lux, Noir London. Well, I guess it's not really an amazing guest, but she was there. We had the House of Aja last week. Cynthia Lee Fontaine was last week. The House of Aja was the week before. If there's a lag, if there's a little 1-2, a little skip to my loo, my do. Me and Aja are traveling. Well, Aja's home, but I'm traveling. I'm on the hotel Wi-Fi, so if I lag, I'm giving excuse it. All my Patreon tier 2 members, shout out to all the girls in the chat. They're gonna share their opinions. And speaking of opinions, everyone who says their opinion, everyone who states anything today, that is their own thoughts. We're not held liable for any feelings hurt, but we do send our well wishes and our condolences. We will simply munch the kiss and keep it pushing. World of Wonder, MTV, Viacom, RuPaul's Drag Race. This content is not for you, so this is a legally binding contract. If you're watching this, please click off now. Everything stated here today is simply allegedly. Okay, Aja, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you promise to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Before we get started and jump in, who do you think should have been the bottom 2 as we were there watching it with our eyes? Let's really wake it up.
I feel like no shade, my bottom 2 was Daya and Irene, personally.
For me, my bottom 2, the chair squeaking is crazy. That's slouchy. My bottom 2, because I kept saying when I was there, I was basing off the girls who got absolutely no laughs. I would say Daya and Lydia probably got no laughs, or Daya and Irene.
Did I say Zaya?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes. Definitely. No shade.
Girl, Aja's been shredding Daya the whole live already. We just started.
No, look, hold on. I love Daya. She is so sweet. Fab girl, in my opinion, didn't get a lot of laughs from RuPaul. So, you know, when she was called safe, I was a little bit like perturbed. I was like, oh, let's keep it a bean. I didn't find Irene Bosco or Daya funny at all. Like, I watched it a few times to see if I would laugh, and at no point did I feel it was worth a chuckle from me. I did laugh at you when first of all, you was carrying, being chaotic, being crazy. Did you pull out a pair of sneakers, or did I make that up?
I was wearing one high heel and one sneaker, and I kept putting them on the table, like I was the HBIC. Girl, they cut out so much of my stuff. That's why I was like, oh, this is interesting.
You know, I feel like at this point, we're used to All Stars being an hour and a half. For some reason, our season is 1 hour episodes. Our Snatch Game was literally like 5 minutes long, but like we all answer all these questions and do all these reactions and stuff. And you know, it's not up to us who gets put in and how much. But obviously, they wanted to highlight Ginger because she won the challenge. And Georges, because I guess they thought she was funny. And, you know, from there on, whatever. But, like, I don't know. I don't agree with the judges at all. But I don't have to. I'm my own person. Thank God.
Girl, I feel like as I watched the show, I realized, like, I feel like sometimes they just do stuff to get people riled up. They want a reaction. And for that, I will say, as we jump into this review, this is not to shit on the show. We're not shitting on the editors. We literally love y'all. We both have been on Drag Race multiple times. We love it. We're always gonna come back when they call. When the phone rings, we will be there, especially when I'm on All Winners terrorizing the girls. But we are gonna give our honest opinion, and if feelings get hurt, we're sorry. This is just our truth. We all have a little bit of truth in us. This is episode 1 of the merge. Okay, there was such a long break between our groups and the merge. So how did that make you feel? Because I feel like we all came back a little different. You had the new confessional wig. Was it giving human hair blend? Was it giving synthetic future Kekalon fibers? What's the tea?
Bitch, it never gave that. It gave human hair from Amazon. So what that means is mystery, because you don't know what you're actually gonna get.
Not mystery. Okay, first of all, did you gag every time you went in and RuPaul was dressed, wearing the mustache and the wig? It was given that mother loves to play. She playing dress up.
Listen, she's a Scorpio, and Scorpios love to do like crazy weird shit. I mean, if you follow her on social media, TikTok, you see she be doing some wild stuff. This is expected. I would be surprised if I went out there and she was looking regular.
Sebas said, "When did y'all find out who was in the semifinals, baby?" I think as soon. Okay, so while we were filming the first half of All Stars, baby, we were all calling each other talking about what happened. I was so glad I was Group 2. If they really wanted to get me together and wanted it to be authentic, they should have put me in Group 1. That way we didn't have no idea what was happening. They would have really got some good TV. But I remember I was spamming everyone's phone, like talking about what's the tea, what's the tea. I remember I called Deja Sky and I was like, Willie, I was like, what happened in y'all's group? And she was like, oh girl. Like, it was cute. And that's why I knew she went home. I said, girl, don't worry about it. But the girls were giving each other the tea. And I think when we went back for the merge, we weren't supposed to know who was going to be there, but we all obviously knew already.
I mean, we knew who was going to be there before the first part. I mean, it's just, girl, asking these loose-lipped to really sit there and keep that to themselves, like, bitch, things just happened.
Were you happy with your group, or like now looking back, do you think you would have done better or wanted to be in a different group?
I thought it was weird, like to put a big concentration of all the black girls in one group, because then there was a less probability that more of us would make it forward. But I don't know. I felt like our group made sense. Yeah, I thought our group made sense. I feel like the third bracket didn't make no sense to me.
The third was very, very interesting. I feel like as I look at the brackets, and again, when I talk about people, it's not about personal feelings. I love all the girls. I'll talk about specifically drag, especially in a competition setting. I just feel like Group 3 was the most like 3 heavy hitters and 3 where it was like, girl, you knew they weren't gonna make it. No shade.
So who was the third heavy hitter in the purple bracket?
In purple bracket, I would say you knew Ginger was gonna make it. I would say Daya. I mean, you knew Daya wasn't make it. Daya's a very fierce competitor. Daya's very strategic. Ginger and Daya very strategic. I thought Denali was gonna make it. Cynthia sneaking in was the true, like, okay, that was the gag.
She kind of ate that though. Like, no shade. Like, she said, you catch more flies with honey, bitch. Like, she really did that.
Oh, Cynthia's fab, and actually we talk about it every week when we do the show. She actually is pretty good at the challenges. Even Snatch Game, I told her, I was like, it's better to be iconically bad than to just be mid. Cynthia's good at the challenges, no shade.
The girls couldn't take it when I said in Untucked, I said, bitch, what if we go out there and she wins? Like, they were like, no, girl, come on, girl.
I remember thinking you were so crazy when you said that, but that would have been the ultimate gag. That would have literally been the ultimate gag.
But why is that crazy if the challenge is to make RuPaul laugh? There was, first of all, Ginger wishes that she made RuPaul laugh as much as Cynthia did that day. Because every time Cynthia opened her mouth, RuPaul was about to piss herself.
It was a fucking kiki. Listen, let's hurry up and get through this so we can get to talk about this bullshit. Okay, bracket 1, who we have. So we're at the beginning of the merge. Okay, so bracket 1, we have Aja, Bosco, and Irene. Okay, let's do a little thumbs up or thumbs down. What do y'all think about Aja's look? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Give it to her, even though we're right here in her face. Fuck that hoe.
Yeah.
Okay, so first up on the. Okay, so explain your outfit. What was the tea with the interest look? What was the vibe? What was the feelings?
So the vibe was that I was the vulture Queen Miss thing, voodoo. I was doing something like cultural for myself because it's a representation of my road of the deity Oshun and how she's the vulture, she's a witch, she's the mother.
Love. Next up, we have Bosco. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get some thumbs up or thumbs down for Bosco? Okay, so out of your bracket, do you think you turned the interest look the most? You know, I love a bead and a feather.
I don't know whose outfit I like the most, if I'm being honest.
You know what? Y'all look good. The aesthetic is also different. I feel you on that.
Yeah, I would wear all 3 of these outfits, maybe styled a little bit differently, but I would wear all 3 of these outfits.
Everyone does look so good. Irene's drag is always so interesting to me because I feel like Irene's aesthetic, she kind of just throws on whatever. Like, nothing actually kind of goes. No, I always tell her this. It's very Texas of her. That's why I say that. Nothing actually goes together, but when she puts it all together, it looks right because it's her. You know what I mean? Like everything's slightly different pinks, and it's a lot, but it's cute. Bosco is very. I think Bosco had a different entrance look, but then it wasn't what she wanted it to be. Remember that? Then she like.
Yes. It was something with like hands or something. It looked like it was about to be cute.
Not everyone's saying Irene is a chop. Not too much. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Irene.
Happy birthday.
Okay, next up, bracket 2, we have Georges, Lydia, and myself, Mistress Isabelle Brooks. Baby, I'm sorry, I turned it. We all turned it. We all look gorgeous. We're giving like cocktail hour. We're giving evening wear.
Yeah, I feel like all the groups, well, so far, I feel like y'all group look like y'all go together. Our group look like we go together. Like, that's weird. Why would we do that?
Have you ever seen The Nanny? Everyone was saying I was giving Sylvia Fine, the granny on the
You
Nanny.
you was giving her. I did think when I first saw you in person, I said, damn, this bitch lost all this weight, bitch, but she got this fucking big ass hip pads on. And I was looking at you, I said, bitch, this bitch got 16 BBLs.
Bitch, not the Deja Sky special. Everyone says my pads are so big. Do you think so? Because here's how I look at it. Look at my shoulders. My pads in where my shoulders start, and I like to be bodied. But I mean, I guess I could see it.
I feel like
none of y'all think my pads are too big. Yeah, give us your opinion. What's the opinion, Mama?
I just don't think that. Okay, so here's the thing. I feel like because you lost so much weight, you also lost weight in your shoulders, and your hips is so much bigger than your shoulders. It only gotta match the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like your aesthetic somehow, like during the show, was given BBL. Like it was given like I got my shit done in DR. What's good?
Next to bracket 3, we have Cynthia, Daya, and Ginger. Okay, I want y'all to look at the first two groups. And then look at this last bracket. What are y'all's thoughts? Cynthia's giving Rain on Me Spy Kids when they was trapped in the video game. You know what? Daya looks interesting, but it's always giving me like Amazon aesthetic.
I like Daya. I feel like she gives like this take on like it's kind of like she gives like punk MILF.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's kind of like Mirage. I feel like everything Mirage wears is kind of like store-bought tees, but it works. Like it's actually really sticking. No, it's not a bad thing at all. Like it literally is cunty. Buying the tchotchke too. All these girls be wearing store-bought fashion off the runway. Baby is giving store-bought the house.
What do you think about Ginger?
First of all, the exposed shoulder pad on the mesh is crazy.
Oh my god.
Like that is an actual no-no. That was not cute. And also, here's another thing. As someone who like, I obviously do noodle illusions. I have chest hair and everything like that. Why would you get this cut of the dress made? It's supposed to be like a fake, like it will show off your body and your belly button. It's not flattering at all. I like the color on her. The cobalt blue is really pretty, and her mug looks insane.
Wake it up.
The head shake is crazy. What do you think?
I think she looked good. I mean, it wasn't something that I've never seen before. But it was like good drag. Like it was like, yeah, like I wouldn't look at it and complain about it, but I also wouldn't look at it and be like, oh my god, like I need that.
You know what it gives me? It gives me like if I saw her on the show, we're performing together, I'd be like, damn bitch, you look good. But like for the entrance look, I'm like, I would have liked a little more. I actually liked her first entrance look more when she entered in like that red like power suit. That was pretty. But I mean, Ginger looks sickening. She looks so snapped. Even the whole press week, she looked really, really good.
Yeah, she's literally almost at like Paper Mario, bitch. If she turned to the side, it's clipped, she's gone.
Yeah, and you know what it is too? I think with her, I know she's trying to find her new self and like being like real like sexy and whatnot. As someone who wears the biggest hair, I actually don't like big hair on her. I think because she's so small. It's like if Georges were to wear really huge hair, I think it would look weird because she's so small.
You think she should wear a bust down?
Actually, yes. I feel like that would have turned it a ponytail. No, a snatch ponytail. Long. That's what this look needed. This wasn't the appropriate hair to wear with this look. Yeah, bracket 3, definitely the weakest in interest looks for me. Okay, looking on the stage, you're looking side to side. Who are you most worried about? Who are you not bothered by? And just be honest, rip the band-aid off. They said she looked like a little boo-boo. I'm screaming.
Who, Ginger?
Yes.
I'm screaming. To be honest with you, when I looked around the room, I was like, girl, I'm here with these late ass bitches. Here we go. I was like, they're fab, but like, I was like, half of y'all, I don't know what it's giving. Half of y'all, I've never really worked with before. And then the other half of y'all is like, all right, we just did this together. Like, let's see what's up. To be honest with you, I thought that I was gonna be in the top 2 in every single week of my bracket, and I'm not even shitting you. I'm being so honest. So I already knew what they were capable of, and I already heard about y'all group shenanigans, and y'all robbery, riggery, and whatever else. And the whole time, bracket 3 just seemed like a key. So it was just kind of like, all right, like this should be interesting. But the threat, no.
Oh, she was not bothered by nobody. I love. And looking at the line, who is you like? You don't see it for them at all. Who just rip the band-aid off? Who is it?
I don't think there was anybody that I didn't see it for. I was just kind of like, my thing is like, I just didn't care about y'all that much. I was just like, all right, like y'all here, I guess. Like, I guess we have to be together.
That's true competitor's mindset. I'm kind of the same. Like, even if I were to look down the line, there's not one person I would really like discount. I think the only person I would be like, okay, you're definitely not winning would probably be Cynthia, only because she's too sweet to win. No, really, I feel like to be the winner, you kind of have to. I see the same way as like being a CEO of a company. You're gonna have to snack a neck or two on the way up. You know what I mean? And I just don't think Cynthia only plays fair. So I knew she wasn't gonna be that girl. Before we went there, remember Bosco and I would always talk about everything and what was happening. And I would always tell them because they would be like, "Oh, we gotta worry about Ginger and Irene did really good." And I was like, "I think Aja's gonna sneak up on y'all," especially because like going in, we knew the rest were gonna be really high like performance-based challenges, and I knew you were gonna turn it. So I'm not even just saying that because you were here. I was like, Aja's the one to look out for, Ginger, and of course myself.
Wake it up, wake it up, wake it up, wake it up. I feel like, to be honest with you, I know that the girls did not I knew that the girls did not see me as any type of threat or whatever. And that was fine for me because no shade. Like, I'd be like, just because the judges feed, your egos, it doesn't mean I have to. And it doesn't mean that I have to sit there and like, I could think you're fab girl. I could think you're a genuine good person, but I could also still think that you're not really giving where you should be giving.
Agreed. Yeah, I think that once you learn that judges' opinions are not gospel and it's just that an opinion, none of this matters, girl, because we all see things so differently. But that's what makes the show so fun. But yes, girl, let's get in. Okay, so moving forward, she's gonna name one All-Star of the week, and they basically revealed that we're gonna be bottom 2 lip syncing. How did you feel about that? Because before we went, I kept telling Bosco and Irene, I was like, there's gonna be a twist. Like I thought we were gonna do lipsticks. That would have turned it for me. That would have been the ultimate f***ery. I thought we were going to do the top 2 winners lip sync and then get to eliminate someone. That would have turned it. So the fact that they had bottom 2 kind of gagged me.
Girl, that bottom 2 situation, honestly, I'm not going to lie. When that happened, I walked into the competition very confident. So like for me, I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm not going to get to wear those outfits. So like might as well, I don't know. Like that was where my mindset went. I was just like, with the challenges I knew we had, which were Snatch Game and the preview's out already, the talent show, I was like, oh, this is where I excel. Like, let's go. So I would.
Yeah, especially because when we got the lip sync song, the Who's Zoom and Who Aretha song, I was like, oh, they want me and Ginger to be the top for Snatch Game. I was like, I'm about to slay her. Like, girl, it's giving very mind games, girls. I'm very delusional and crazy. I was like, oh my god, they set it up for me. They know I'm giving Aretha reincarnated. But no, I feel like it was a missed opportunity. They should have did the Rated Queen every week or did the lipsticks. That would have made so much more drama and made it even more juicy. But I think at this point of the competition, they weren't going to risk who they want to see at the end. They weren't going to leave it in our hands anymore. You know what I mean?
Girl, no, I feel like if we would have done lipsticks, they would have got my ass up out of there, girl.
Okay, let's wake this up because now I have someone here. Okay, so they said, did everybody hate Ginger? Let me preface this with this, which will hopefully explain some of my behavior. Before I got there, obviously, we had a whole year in between filming. So yes, the girls talked. Also, Aja just said it before. Feelings of a competition does not necessarily mean we don't like someone in person or like them as a queen. This is simply competition's sake. But before I got there, everyone was talking about Irene and Ginger because they absolutely slayed their brackets. Everyone was like scared of it being the Ginger show. That's why I kept tormenting this bitch because everyone was talking about it. So why y'all not saying it? That's why I said Ginger come, because I wish they would have showed the full edits, which obviously they're not because it makes it even more juicy to make it seem like I'm bullying Ginger. That was never the case. When I would call Ginger over, that's why if you listen at the workroom table, actually let me fast forward and see if that brings it up. Yes, put a pin in that. We're gonna circle back. We get to the bodysuits. Why is my bodysuit smaller than yours? Let's clock that T. Was that shade?
Oh no, baby, wake it up. I was the big girl of the season. When we came back and you and Ginger had been bitch divided amongst men, girl,
Me and
I
Jordan, we could almost swap. We could almost swap suits.
I came back as the thick girl of the season. And I'm not mad at it, girl. Somebody up there needed to have like some juicy body.
Okay, so we get there and they also gag us and say the points are wiped. I was so nervous about that because I knew going in I had the least amount of points. So I was fucking praying. I was like, please get rid of these damn points. Did you want the points to carry over or were you happy?
I was happy. I knew that they was gonna get rid of them, no shade, because it, like logistically, what would the game have been? Like it would have made no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's only fair to start with the clean slate because also yeah, I just think it was the most fair because if they were gonna carry over, they should have prefaced that because that really would have changed the game from the jump.
But also logistically, it's brackets like in the sports thing, and what the battles over here don't got nothing to do with the battles over there. So I just thought like, why would those points matter now?
Okay, so do you remember this? I was like, we need to have separate meetings, but they cut out like everything we said.
Oh no, y'all was carrying. They was over there for like 20 minutes. I'm sitting over there looking at them like, girl, here they go, conspiring and making shit up already.
Girl, every time I see Cynthia Lee, she's always wearing something so random. I'm not even joking. Like, she be just putting on whatever. Like, I kind of live.
She's kind of giving like futuristic hazmat suit. Like, she's giving like...
It's kind of, I'm telling you, it's giving rain on me.
It's giving rain in me.
Daddy.
Okay, so I said, why when we were on the runway, Aja looked at oh my God, what did you tell Ginger in that moment, girl? You was reading her for Phil.
No, I didn't. You were key. Because we was waiting to walk the runway and Georges could not sit in her dress. So I was like, girl, like, I was like, you good? I was like thinking in my mind, she looks stressed. And then you was like, oh, I heard what you said about Ginger.
You know what gags me about Aja? Aja has the best memory. You remember so much shit. My memory is so fried. You can literally tell me something I said yesterday and I would not remember. The fact that you remember things so vividly, I fucking live.
It's autism, girl.
Yes. Oh, are you the next one to come out?
Girl.
Okay, so everyone, like I said, everyone is so panicked about Ginger. So let's dissect this scene. Ginger thinks she's that girl. She's about to come through and wake it up. So I'm saying this because as the girls are chitter-chattering, everyone's talking about Ginger this, Ginger that. I really did not understand why everyone was so fearful of Ginger. That was really frying my brain because you would think Ginger is coming in as Queen Mother. I do not like no hype behind no bitch. I want to see it for myself without the stunts of shenanigans. That's what I was saying. And the fact that everyone was just saying it behind her back, that's why I was like, let's wake it up. Like, let's get it together and really ask her and see what she's about.
Girl, they did the same thing in my first bracket. Like even especially in the first episode where they was like, everybody was scared of Bosco. And I was like, I'm like, she's fab, but like, we just got here. Like, girl, let's go. I don't know. To be honest with you, I did not fear nobody. I mean, you saw the way I was acting before we went on set for Snatch Game. I did not give two fucks about who was there, who was not there. Girl, I was running around the room, shaking my titties, my ass, shaking my. I didn't give a fuck.
Seba said, why did you say Ginger didn't shower? Okay, this is a prime example of me just saying shit. I just be like, wow, why the would I say that? Listen, I'm not saying she stinks. That's not, it was taken out of context. Also,
was it?
Maybe. I'm trying to. Listen, when I got here, I think I had just filmed the video with Eureka. Like, this is when all that had just came out. So it was all the kimchi shower, Eureka tour drama. Have you ever toured with Eureka?
Yes.
And what are your thoughts? Okay, on to the next. Okay, so here's what really pissed me off watching this episode. Okay, we get to the workroom table conversation. They chop this up so much. Like, this is literally the absolute fool. Do you remember right when I got there, when Rue came up, the first thing he goes, oh my God, you're such a hot boy. And I was like, if you don't stop, I'm fuck you. And I was so excited for that to be on the show. I was like, it's gonna be so funny. We kiki for so long. Rube sat there and praised me. My workroom conversation was legendary. The table talk, legendary. It was, the whole conversation was about me, even where Irene was like, damn, are we gonna get any compliments? So the fact they literally cut everything out to push this narrative is so absolutely crazy to me. And that really pissed me off. Because I'm like, why would y'all not give me my moment? But then they want to turn around and be like, oh, you know what I mean? Also, I told Rue in this moment, if I won the Snatch Game, I was gonna get RuPaul tattooed on my neck. So I think that's why she.
You did say that. I remember that.
He was gagged because I think he knew I was serious. If I would have won Snatch Game, I would have seen Rue on my neck. That would have been such a key. What was your thoughts on your workroom table talk with Rue? Did y'all have a lot of dialogue? I don't remember.
Yes, I always have a good time with Rue. I always get the feeling that RuPaul is obsessed with me when she be talking to me. She be laughing at everything I be saying, and I be confused. And I just be thinking either she's attracted to my mental illness, or she's really living. I mean, one of them, but two things can be true. I don't know, but I felt like I dominated that because I had it was me, Lydia, and whoever else was there. And I felt like she was paying attention to me most of the time.
Yeah, people always ask. I feel like when you're there, you can tell Rue actually likes you and remembers you. And you can tell when you're there, she remembers me, Ginger, Aja, and of course Georgia the most. I think that she was always excited to converse with us, and it was always given Kiki. But I think that Rue likes us all for different reasons. I know for Rue, I'm just a fucking dancing monkey, girl. She be just wanting me to start reading people and acting a goddamn fool. And I remember, oh my god, I don't think they put it in the thing, but I had the mannequin, and I had the chin prosthetic on it, and she goes, who are you gonna be playing? And I go, I know what you're thinking. No, I'm not gonna be Lady Camden. Bitch, when I tell you she fell out for 5 minutes, I mean, I knew they were gonna cut that out, but girl, it was such a key. I love Rue. Rue could do no wrong in my eyes. And regardless of what airs, I mean, at least we still have the conversation to remember in our head. Someone said, does Rue live for cuckoo? Let's move on to the next slide. Someone said, okay, this bugged me. Will said, this boggles me. She don't know Natalie, but she knows Vicky. Both have been on baddies. So that's what kind of gagged me. You know, I really was shocked to know that Rue did not know who Natalie was. I was like, I think, how do you know Vicky and you know Cash Me Outside, but you don't know, I don't know, maybe, but like you said, I think it's a cultural thing and it's a disconnect from people's humor because I'm so internet brain rot culture engraved. I also was gagged that she didn't know Cookie Tookie. You would really think that she would live for her.
They literally act the same on TikTok. So I was like, girl, Cookie's a little crazier, but I don't know. I was very surprised. And people told me before, they were like, oh, she may not know that character. And I was just kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to do it anyway.
Very that. At the end of the day, you got to do what's going to make you happy. No shade. So we get into the Snatch Game. Raja and Raven are on the guest panel, which I kind of live. I feel like sometimes when they have the actual celebrities, it's a little bit cringe and they don't really know how to play. Raja and Raven were cute. What do you think about their looks?
They look good. I felt like they were being cold a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely was given don't talk, don't wait. But you know what really gagged me? At the end of Snatch Game, why Raja came up and hugged Ginger. I was like, there we go. There we go, girl. RuPaul's Drag Race done f***ed up drag.
I don't remember that part, but I just remember them being kind of cold. And it gave I could see, it's always that moment. I saw Raja saying hi and living for all the girls. And then she just looked at me and she was like, and then I was like, well, in my mind, just you can't be everybody's favorite.
Yeah, it was definitely given don't look at them too long. But I also get it because they have to maintain their professionalism. Even if we all have each other's relationship status outside of the show, you're there to be disconnected from the contestants. So I got it, low key. They both look good. They both look stunning. Okay, so first up, we have Aja as Cookie Tookie. Now, what happened to the prosthetic, sister? Because Aja had a whole stunt and show and shenanigan just like me to start with.
Girl, I was spending an hour on the prosthetics and they were not laying the way I needed them to lay. So I was just I'd rather it had not looked crazy on the camera. So I just ended up dishing them and trying to do more of the illusion with the face.
Yeah, less for them to read about. I agree. That was how I felt about the chin. I was so glad it looked okay on camera because, girl, I'm not no goddamn.
It looked better on TV than it did in person. No shade. Because you asked me before we went outside. You said you looked at me straight in my face. You said, Aja, no, on some real. How does it look? And I said, I think it looks bad. And you said, are you sure? And then you want to ask Georges, and Georges said it looked good. And
Girl,
then you was like,
Georgia had her whole goddamn hair outside of her bald cap, girl. That's why when she told me that, I said, damn, I'm cooked. Girl, no, Aja did. She goes, girl, that looks the goddamn fool. I go, girl, I know, but I gotta do what I gotta do. I had never tried, because here's the other tea. Before we was Cookie Tookie your original choice?
oh yeah, she was my original choice from the get.
Okay, so let me preface with, I'm not saying production sabotaged me. That's not at all what I'm saying. There's people think that it's as easy as like, who are you gonna do for Snatch Game? Oh, I'm doing this person. We're good to go. There's so many layers to it. They got to go through a legal team. They got to go through making sure that things are socially acceptable. There's so many layers before we get approval for who we're doing. So originally, I was gonna do the bitch who killed Selena Quintanilla. I was gonna do Yolanda Saldivar. That was my first Snatch Game choice. We went back and forth about it. I was so excited. I had all the things that how I was gonna play her. Then they told me, they were like, Mistress, you're gonna get backlash from this. You can't talk about murdering. You can't make guns. You can't like say. They gave me a whole list of what I can and can't say. So then I told them, I was like, well, that eliminates the whole character. Plus, if I do it, I'm gonna feel like I have to watch myself, so it's not even worth doing. So then they were like, okay, like just chill out. We're gonna go through the legal precautions. But then it got to the point where I was like, okay, I still want to do it. I think it'll be funny. I can do it appropriately and not like make fun of Selena. Like if we're doing it to really like roast Yolanda. So then I would say about like a week before we went, they called me and they're like, hey, like you can't do Yolanda. It's chopped. So I was like, I was like, well, who else am I gonna do? And my choice, I was gonna do ELEANOR Charles, which is like my alter ego, but I just didn't want that to come across as lazy or give them room. Because I'm in it to win it. I want the motherfucking crown, bitch. So I want to make sure that I'm doing something that Rue's gonna laugh at and that is recognizable. So then I decided on Natalie Nunn. I was like, well, Natalie Nunn's good. The look is on point. I could look like her. Cool. So then we get started on Natalie Nunn, and with them telling me so last minute, I told them, I was like, well, if I do Natalie Nunn, I want to be able to do X, Y, and Z. I go, I know it sounds crazy, but for my intro, I want to have a breakaway bottle. Y'all can approve it. We can get it made. I want to break the bottle on either Rue's head or my head or on the table. And I want to be like,
oh, Rue's head is crazy.
Well, listen, they approved it on. They were living for the idea, bitch. I'm telling you, like they when they told me I could do it on Rue, I gagged. I have the receipts. I have the email receipts because I tweeted about it for a second. And they were like, they would not approve that, bitch. Yes, they did. And I was just as gagged as y'all were. So I told them because we were on the phone at first, and I was like, I want to break the bottle either on my head, like I'm crazy, or like on the table or on Rue. I go, if I could break it on Rue, I would turn it, and I know that he would live. So they told me they were like, Rue is down with it. Like we got the approval. No, Rue said yes. Someone said Rue said no. No, baby, it was approved, and I have the emails to prove it. So it was approved for me to break the bottle. They got a company to make the bottle. Everything was good. I have my intro planned around this. Awesome. Because also, I don't know if you know the meme of Natalie Nunn where she's sucking on the vape and like blowing the smoke. That was my other option for the intro. So then they told me that I can't do anything smoking. I can't have cigarettes or vapes. So I was like, okay, no, T, I get that. It's TV. So then while I'm getting ready in drag as Natalie, they pulled me to the side. I don't even know if anyone noticed or what they pulled me to the side and they were like, okay, we have some concerns about your character because it was so last minute. Keep in mind, day of an hour before we go on set, literally about to go on and be Natalie. They're like, you can't break the bottle anymore because of safety and the other girls out there. So we're having to remove that. You can't use alcohol. And in that purse, I had a whole bottle of tequila and shots. And of course, gonna do baddie shot o'clock. I was gonna act a fool. They told me I couldn't do it because of a last minute sponsor on the show. They told me I couldn't say baddies because it's copyrighted, even though my necklace says baddies. Baby, they got me together. They ruined my whole character right before I went out. Gave me a whole list of what I couldn't say. And they basically told me nothing copyrighted or it's not gonna make the cut and it's gonna be chopped. And I literally was looking at that, baby. I wanted to literally leave right then and there because I was like, y'all just set me up. Like, y'all literally just got me together. And first of all, let me also say, I'm not one to blame it on the edit or blame it on the riggery. I'm not saying that they're trying to sabotage me because what I really think is everything with just so many last minute decisions and it was a safety precaution and whatever, what have you. But I wish that it didn't get to that point right before I went out to get me together. And I think that in their mind, they were like, oh, this bitch is funny, so she's gonna be funny, she'll make it work. But that's not always what it's given, bitch. It's giving y'all shook me up and it was given go out there and do what you want to do. But anyway, that's my truth.
Bitch, that was a hell of a truth.
Girl, but there we go. Me as Natalie Nunn. We have Lydia Collins as Pete Burns and Georges as Pitbull. What are your thoughts on Pitbull? Why does it kind of look sickening on camera? Like I said, in real life, Georges' whole goddamn back of her hair was out. It was sin to me.
I love how we skip everybody from the first slide. But for continuity, I thought that George's Pitbull, like, to be honest with you, I thought it was like it had funny moments, but for me personally, it wasn't super funny. But RuPaul thought it was hilarious. Like, I'm talking about, like, there was points where George's was just like going fireball, and RuPaul was falling out, and I was sitting there thinking like, am I bugging? I was like, but I think that George's was one of the better ones of the night, in total, because I do think it was a very weak Snatch Game. I think the Snatch Game was a very weak challenge. I'm like, why are we still doing this outdated challenge? Like, we've been proven that 90% of the girls are fucking terrible at it. Like, this episode could have been used on something so much more entertaining.
Yeah, I was not looking forward to Snatch Game at all because, like I said, I think it just has been overdone. And I always tell people as well, at this point, we're so many seasons in, all the good characters have been done. Like everything that's actually worthwhile and recognizable has really been chopped. Okay, let's go back to the front because we skipped over. Let's just brief over everyone. Bosco. Okay, first of all, let me say I'm the #1 Bosco fan. I love my sister down.
Same.
Her crying in Untucked was crazy because it was not giving that for me. I was like, I rubbed off on her. It was giving Delusion the house, but I fucking love because Bosco is just so fucking like sickening to me.
I live because she lived for herself, and that is so fab, girl. When she said that she thought that she should have been in the top 3, she also texted that to me, and I said, in my mind, I was like, oh, okay, because she was like, well, I don't know why they just made it a bottom 4 and not a top 3 just to rob me of this moment. And I was like, okay, work.
The thing with Bosco is Bosco wants it so bad, and
yes.
I love that. I will never fault my bitch for wanting it. So, I will feed her delusion. She was still good. I don't think it was haha funny for as much effort as she did, but I just feel like it didn't need all like the bells and whistles. You could.
I felt like the funniest thing she said, in my opinion, didn't even make the cut. She had said something about the girls go to Thailand, and it was the funniest thing she said to me. And then like everything else was like, okay, well, work. And Irene, I felt like they only had one thing to use, and they used it because I felt like for the whole time she flatlined until she threw the scarf and called them poor or whatever she called them. Like, other than that, I felt like it was a good impersonation, but I don't think even Rue was finding it that funny.
That part. And also, like, as someone who was there too, I feel like you and I are in the same boat where we had so many fucking funny moments. And I feel like another big reason Natalie did not work is because everyone was not volleying with each other. Nobody was like interacting with each other, trying to cut up and kiki. You were given so many cookie one-liners. It was fucking sending me that they were not making it. I was like, how are you gonna? It's the same thing with Natalie. Everyone's like, why didn't you say baddies? Obviously we did. Why didn't you say Isha Lakanza?
I was gagging because people were like, oh, it wasn't funny, there was no laughs. Bitch, every time I said something there was laughs, even in the edit, because there was the whole like, oh bitch, I love loofahs, like that part got a laugh. The body shaped like a Philly cheesesteak thing got a laugh. Like, there was never a moment where I felt like it really went as so, and people was online saying that they thought that you and I had bombed it so bad and that we should have been in the bottom 2. And for that, I say, shame on y'all. Y'all should be in the bottom 2.
Like, here's my thing with this too is like, listen, obviously every Monday is Mistress Monday. You are watching it right now. I literally do comedy for a living. If you think I can sit in a room in drag with a big ass shit and not get any laughs, you're literally just as delusional as the people editing the goddamn show. Like, I think that you and I both fully realized our characters, and I think, like you said, it was just a thing of Rue really not knowing what it gave. Okay, Mother Cynthia, Dracula turned it for me. No shade.
No shade. I really thought she was going to be in the top. I'm so sorry. Like, I will not take that back. If the challenge is to make Rue laugh, Cynthia made Rue laugh more than anybody else there.
Cynthia was funny. Honestly, like, looking back, in the moment, I knew she was fucking horrible just from, like, the actual, like, Snatch Game perspective. But if the goal is to make Rue laugh, Cynthia, I think, could have justifiably been safe. I think her runway is what really f***ed her, honestly.
Oh yeah, that runway was honest. Whoever made that runway, shout out to you, Cynthia. But that person, whether you love them or not, they owe you like a letter and a reimbursement because that was crazy.
Also, okay, Daya as Jane Lynch, I think she was the worst. She got absolutely no laughs there.
Baby. I was saying the same thing, and it's crazy because people who saw the final are like, "Oh, she was so good." She and like I'm not to take away from her. She did do the character well, but she really did not get any laughs at all. And there was actually a lot of really awkward moments of awkward silence after she would answer, and I don't know. I was very shocked when they called her safe. I'm not gonna lie, but live for Daya, breathe for Daya. Daya was not my Snatch Game winner in any wide margin.
As we give our opinions, like we stated earlier, people can do their own reviews and shred us for fucking filth. This is just art is subjective, and it's just how we view it. Now, with that being said, let's go on to Ginger as Reba. First of all, before I even get into this, undisputable Ginger Minj, queen of Snatch Game. Great improv artist. She's fucking amazing. She looked the character. It was sickening. What really gagged me for the second she sat down, baby, Rue was just living right off the bat, and that's when I was over it. I was like, girl, this is a fucking chop. Like this is a fool.
I feel like honestly, Rue was only excited to play with Ginger because
literally.
I feel like we would all like get like, okay, so here's the question. Oh, all right, and then it would go to like Ginger, and it'd be like, oh, and what about and then and I was like, damn. I was like, girl, when we gonna get our moments? And yeah, someone said she had a cheat sheet under her name plaque.
Anyway, listen, I think that it's indisputable. She was absolutely amazing. But like I said, this Snatch Game was so different than season 15 because I feel like on my original season, it was so lighthearted. All the girls are playing with each other. Rue was volleying with us. And especially for me as Natalie, he gave me nothing to work with. It was just like, or him laughing. Like it was either one or the other. That's why I kept saying, I was like, oh, I had some hits and some misses, but like at least I tried. He was not volleying with no one. It was not given. It was, Snatch Game needs to be removed and taken out, baby, in my opinion.
There was a point where I was bantering with her, and I feel like she almost got mad that I kept answering the question. It was when she said, she was like, what kind of cookies do you like? And I said, chocolate f***ing chip. Girl,
she was over it. She fucking had it. She wanted to only play with Ginger. I'm not even just saying that. I actually really enjoy Ginger. I really do. I'm not just saying that. I think Ginger is fucking amazing. And she showed us why she's the queen of Snatch Game, but it was a little biased. I will say she really only wanted to play with Ginger. And she likes Cynthia too for all the wrong reasons though. Cynthia's a fucking key. Okay, so what do you think about all the discourse where they're saying that Raven's the new crowned queen of season 2? When we were there, I didn't even remember this happening. I was so pissed though. I was clocked out.
I didn't remember this happening, but shout out to Raven. A crown for our black queen. We got to take care of her. We got to make sure she's doing good. Shout out big ups to Raven.
She looks gorgeous. You know what's kind of gagging me? That she's wearing like little puss hair, but I guess I don't remember ever seeing her in wigs. Does she ever wear big styled hair?
No, but I feel like I live for Raven's like painted aesthetic, and then it kind of gives like styled like pieces on the frame and like a tiny hair.
Oh, someone said Rachel Dolezal tease. Y'all need to stop playing in this chat. Okay, so the girls get to it. Georgia says she thinks she did good. Why did they say you were spiraling? I don't remember you spiraling on the episode. That's why when I kept watching the confessionals, I was like,
okay, no, we have to really wake this up because this is what happened. When I first got there, and I don't know if you how much of this you'll remember, I was actually going through it because I was like, girl, there's no black people in the room. Everybody's like painfully white. And I was like, even the Mexican girls, they're kind of white too. I was like, girl, like it's giving disconnect a little bit. And that week was very tough. I was in a crazy situation. I crashed my boyfriend's car into a FedEx truck. Like a lot had happened that week.
I remember
So
you.
when I had got there, I also had a 103.5 fever on Friday. We flew out Sunday. I was still recovering. So when we did Snatch Game, I was like, that was a lot of my energy. So the next day, I was just over it. And honestly, I was over it when all the girls were being so delusional. Because, you know, all the girls was giving, oh, I just so great. And I was over y'all. I was like, all right, girl. So when we was doing the makeup, no shade, I was telling Ari, I was like, yo, I think I'm a dip. Like, I'm like, no shade. Like, it's clip. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, I feel like funky and I don't want my shit to rub off on the other girls. Cause honestly, I think I was just going through a bit of anxiety. And a lot of people may not know this, but I have like really bad OCD. But for me, it's like, I make plans, I make structures, I make like schedules and stuff. And when things don't align with how I need them to go, I get very catastrophically depressed and I start to feel like I'm a failure. I start to feel like nothing's right. And that's just what was happening at that moment. I don't know. And then like, I feel like Bosco was trying to give me some words of encouragement, but I was just like, girl, whatever.
Yeah, you didn't want to hear it. No, I feel you. Yeah, no, I don't think people realize how fast the turnaround was because, like, literally, I remember this day we filmed Snatch Game the first day we got there, pretty much. Like, we literally flew in the same, like, the nighttime and the day we did Snatch Game. Baby, I was fucking exhausted. I hadn't slept for like 2 days. I was fucking over it. So I start asking the girls who they think's gonna be in the bottom and the top, and Irene want to open her motherfucking mouth like she knows something. You know, when I ask these questions, because everyone's like, when I see comments from people, everyone's like, oh my God, Mistress is deflecting because she thinks, like, no, I'm literally just getting my camera time, baby. Who y'all think will be in the bottom? Sometimes it's not as deep as y'all think. You know what I mean? I hated this runway category. This was so important for them to give to us. For everyone to plan reveals and shit is such an extra. It's already a lot to get a runway made. Reveals are so hard to do cleanly. Like, it's just, I did not appreciate this.
What do you wish we would have done instead of this? I would have loved to have done just like, imagine, just evening gown. Bitch, that's it.
I think they need to stop trying to be so extra. They literally need to go back to the basics. Yes, evening wears, formal wear, something really pretty, a color. Anything would have been better than this. This was literally stunts of shenanigans. I did not like this at all. What do you think about Rue? Looks sickening.
Rue looked good. Michelle looked good. Sarah Michelle Gellar played, but she looked good. And Carson, they all look good. They were styled.
They were styled. Everyone was there. Rue's hair looks really pretty here. Okay, first up we have Bosco. Okay, Bosco, what do y'all think? Thumbs up or thumbs down? What do you think about Bosco's runway?
I love the runway. I mean, it's very like Elsa Schiaparelli meets Vivienne Westwood. The fashion is on point. The reveal wasn't gaggy to me. I do like the under and the over, but you know, it was nothing that said, "Oh my God, revolutionary." But nonetheless, beautiful look from a beautiful girl.
Yeah, she looks gorgeous. The reveal was kind of just like meh to me, but she looks good. It works. Okay, next up we have Georges. Georges 8. Georges looks sickening. I love how the oversized works for her for the first part with the suit because she's so small, so it looks love. She looks sickening to me. What do you think?
Yeah, she definitely went from the devil's advocate to the devil's whore, and I like this. You know, I have this thing where I say Georges is the shortest, and she definitely knows how to deliver fashion for a short diva.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it definitely works for her. And she'd be so painted. Like, sometimes I would stare at her and I'm like, girl, your makeup is so fucking beautiful. Them cheeks are pumped for the gods, though. Do you think she's pickled?
Baby, that bitch has been sitting in a jar for months, but she's probably getting pumped right now.
Girl, well, I remember we were there the whole time we kept telling her to transition. I think, but that's very San Antonio, where she's from. All the boy queens are like that. They be pumped, silicone down, and still be boys.
Give my daughter some time. She's trying to marinate right now.
Oh my God. Next up, we have Diabetes. This is a chop for me. I don't know. It was a chop for me. I didn't like the reveal. Also, we can't show it because it's on YouTube. When she did the reveal for her ass, the hole was too high or too low. All you saw was like the top. It wasn't giving ass. It was just giving like crack. It wasn't cute.
I really actually like this. I felt like the athletic wear suit gave a little bit of like mugler. And I liked the rhinestone sweat stains. I thought that was very unique. I mean, again, this is pretty punk. It gives like, you know, the idea smells like piss and foreskin, but like when you look at it, she probably smells expensive as fuck. Like I kind of like the look.
I like the idea. Like, I think Daya always has such a cool perspective on it. I like her idea. She thinks outside the box. I actually don't mind the execution. I just think it could have been elevated a little more. And, like, maybe if the second look was a little more fitted and paneled out, and maybe instead of just being a hole for her ass, if she would have had the actual, like, jockstrap kind of made into the dress where it would have accentuated more and made a little more sense, it would have worked.
She should have put prosthetic cones on her ass cheeks, and she should have had it weird shape and then revealed it and had cones on her ass. Wouldn't they have that fucking ate it?
Oh, that's not. Speaking of 8 on the runway, next up we have Cynthia Lee Fontaine.
Yeah, it was chops across the board for me. Honestly, I love Cynthia, but I don't love her enough to like this look. And this top look, I feel like the idea was cute, but like the pants look like they. Girl, the pants look like there's like an air conditioner inside. Like,
it looks like she stole a Curious TV. A Curious TV might be in her motherfucking pants, girl. You know what really got the whole time I was looking at her this episode, her makeup is so weird, like her face makeup. Cynthia's actually so beautiful. I think it's, you know, when people highlight under their contour, I hate that. It looks like flashback to how it looks weird to me. Her makeup just does not look flattering to
I feel like her makeup is giving very like the older like Texas Latina drag queens. Like it's like it gives that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if she blended a little bit more, it could look more.
I actually love the corset. I love the colors on her, like the brown and the brown tan and the white look gorgeous. I like the idea of everything. I think it's like she said, the designer just got to her so last minute. I also, again, I'm like, for instance, why would she do a sweetheart neckline and she has no titties? That just is not, like, it just don't make sense to me. You could have wore a breastplate. It just looks a chop. Everything's a fool to me. The reveal was the full immediate bottom elimination.
What do you think that this tiramisu would have tasted like?
Like caca, bitch. Cuckoo de caca. Irene looks sickening. Irene turned it. It's gorge.
I love that she's very, like, you know, she has a concept and a story behind everything. She went from the crazy cat lady with the mask on to the crazy cat alien. You know, I love it. I live it. I breathe it. I mean, this was the cleanest, in my opinion, of all the reveals. And it was also like the most different outfit on top and bottom. Yeah, it was cute. I feel like the color palette was not super exciting to me, but like it was fashion enough for me to be like, okay.
Yeah, I guess like you said, I appreciate that both looks are vastly different. I love that. Next up, we have Aja. Okay, you turned it. I think you look so. I think I told you in Untucked, I was like, this is the most beautiful you ever looked. I love the gown. I actually love the cocoon too. It was giving Jasmine Masters in the little hoop cocoon. The only thing I didn't like was the reveal because I mean, but that would be hard to do. You know what I mean?
To be honest with you, I was just having a long day. So when I was going down the runway, I was having an anxiety attack. So I didn't realize that I had revealed so fast. I think I just wanted to get it over with. The suit, when I had got it, it was actually too small. So I had to like add fabric to it. And I didn't have time for a proper fitting before I left. And honestly, by the time I got there, girl, we had so much going on. I was not really trying to fix it. But my whole look was kind of like inspired by this African caterpillar. So it has like little African print on the on like the waist and on the peplums, and the butterfly shape of the gown is supposed to be like the traditional like Nigerian wedding dresses. I decided like the first part of my package for All Stars 10 was very focused on like me as things I like, but the second part was me like kind of like sharing pieces of my culture and pieces of me that people often don't see or hear about.
I love you. Look so fucking gorgeous. I can't even tell that you added fabric to the first suit, so that's fucking sickening. But no, yeah, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Okay, next up we have Lydia B. Collins. Okay, what are your thoughts on Dwayne?
Lydia definitely, she ate the suit. I like the suit a lot. That was a really suit. The underdress, I didn't like it too much. I liked the shape, and I thought it was actually for like a satin, like a stretched satin moment. It was like nicely made and tailored. It just wasn't the most exciting for me. But I love this hair and I love Lydia's makeup. You know, she's a skinny bitch and she can get away with it.
Yeah, no, Lydia looks gorge, hair looks gorge. I love the suit, love the first look. I just think this goes back to being, I don't want to use the word baby queen. I think just being a little inexperienced because you should never have used a satin fabric. We literally wait so long between us getting dressed to the runway. It was getting wrinkled down and all the cameras are so fucking bright. Satin fabric should never be used on Drag Race unless it's like something super, super fitted, in my opinion. I also think if I were to change it and make it like Ova, she should have did like a fake suit dress at the very end. Like the bottom half could have been that same black sequin as a suit, and the top could have been like a silky blouse, like puffy sleeves. That would have turned it, would have fit under the suit and looked super, super elevated. Other than that, love. She looked gorgeous. Lydia always looks painted. The mug is always
Yes, and she paints her lips first.
I know, it's always so crazy to me. I told her that too. I was like, bitch, and she looks insane to the very end. Someone said, was it super wrinkled in person? Well, we never got to see it because it was tucked in the thing. That's why I was saying satin fabric. There's certain ways you have to handle different things.
No shade. And once we get on the runway, we disassociate, girl.
Yeah, literally. Okay, next up we have Ginger Minge. I think this is another one where it looked much better on TV. Because I remember in person, I was like, look bulky as hell.
No, it looked bulky there too. It looked crazy to me. Like I don't like it. Like in the beginning, she kind of looks like she's holding to. she. Then she looked like she about to be like, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey."
It's given Monopoly Man. It's given Fairly Odd Parents Doug Dimmadome. The first look, the first look's absolute chop. But the second look, she actually looks really pretty. It's giving Madonna like a virgin. I love the hair. I love a little swoop with the bun. She looks pretty in the second look. Actually, I think what would have looked even better for the second look, the gloves should have been all lace. That would have looked so sexy.
I feel like I like the look. I mean, it's not my favorite. It's not. To me, the look is a chop. All around, both sides. But it's cool. I like it. I don't
Also,
like it. I don't know.
You don't like that shit. Stop lying. Whenever she was describing her runway, she said it was given Doechii and Janelle Monáe. I feel like it was given, she was just saying key buzzwords that will get the younger fans. She's like, it's Doechii, and it's given Janelle Monáe, and it's given Slay Queen.
It's giving like, I don't know. It like it's. I feel like what she meant was like she was giving a little bit of like dandyism, but I don't see the dandyism that much.
It was given slouchy, but she still looks absolutely gorgeous. I think she looks gorgeous in the second look. Not a fan of the first one.
I agree.
Mine was the goddamn fool too. So next up we have me. Okay, first of all, let me start off with this too. I almost did not get this look before we went. I literally got this look. Okay, so we left. We got there what day? On Sunday, right?
Yes.
So we got there on Sunday. My flight was supposed to be at 5 in the morning. I had to change my flight to the very last minute because I did not get this outfit to the day that I was supposed to leave. The fat suit was unairbrushed, unfinished. I literally had to stay up all night, find someone to airbrush a little bikini on it. Then when I did the reveal, it never ever worked. I had never did the reveal till I got on the stage because me and Lydia had to stay up the whole night when I got there fixing my dress. So shout out to my daughter.
You and Lydia, or Lydia missing?
Lydia.
Because I woke up that morning and Lydia was inside the station, and I walk over to her. It's like 7:00 in the morning. She's the only one up, and I'm looking at her. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm making mother's skirt," and I'm looking at her like, "Is this bitch serious? You was wild for that."
So listen, to be fair, I asked her, I was like, "Do you want me to help you?" She's like, "No, just leave me to my own devices. I'm gonna wake up early and do it." And I styled a piece of hair for her on the show. Y'all gonna see it next episode. Remember, I styled a beautiful big ass piece of hair for her. So we traded our services. That's what we do in the Brooks dynasty. But I had to make sure she was really about it. But no, I really, really appreciated Lydia. Lydia saved my life that day because this was a mess. I had literally not slept for like over 2 days. For what this was and how I had no outfit less than 24 hours before, I was happy with how this looked. I made it work. I looked stunned. It could have been a lot better. The bitch who me over with this outfit and no tea. So we hear that Ginger.
You didn't even let me comment on your outfit. Why was you so in a rush to move?
What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, no shit. I thought it was the fool. I said, girl, when you
this should look a mess.
Girl, no shade. Like I saw you at first, I was like, okay, the idea is cute. I was like, girl, they're gonna tear her for that. But they actually didn't. Did they?
They did it. They loved it. But also, I think this is a key one. You know how I kept saying that some people look better on TV? I think mine look better in real life. I think on TV it amplified the mistakes. But
to be honest with you, yes, I agree with that. I think it looked better on.
Yeah. But I would say in real life, because you also have to remember the camera they filmed from the front, like when you can see the white waistband, the judges couldn't see that. It was because the TV camera is so low, you could see everything under the suit. But in real life, you couldn't see that. I think that the lights and everything on the camera really amplified how like costumey it was. But in real life, I would say it looked much, much better. But yeah, I think it was an absolute chop. It's not at all how I wanted it to be. I let the bitch have it who made it. It's fine for what it is. That's why I hate this runway. I was just glad the shit revealed because I had literally never done it and it has to be fully laced up, and it's just a whole stunt and a showgirl. Over it. So they say that Ginger Minj is the winner. Here she go, crocodile tears, crying with no tears coming down. Sickening for her. I love an actress. She Ginger Minj, congratulations, you're a winner, baby. Were you gagged?
I mean, no, I felt like it was given that, and I was like, whatever. I mean, to be honest with you, I was more gagged with a lot of the critiques that we have received, and I had not agreed with a lot that was said. Like, I was told I was repetitive, but I don't think I ever repeated anything. I was like, okay. And I was also told, like, oh, you embodied the character perfectly. We just didn't know what the storyline was or, like, why she was there. And I was like, what?
Someone said, a lot of people in the comments are saying Georgia should have won. Okay, I think I agree with Ginger winning. I'm not disputing that. I think Ginger was absolutely amazing. Her runway was pretty solid. Ginger was amazing in Snatch Game, amazing at the challenge. But actually watching it back and looking at these slides, I would not have been mad or surprised if Georgia's won too. I thought Georgia's runway was super, super clean, and the Snatch Game was really up there. So I could see both perspectives, but I don't think I would take that from Ginger. I think Ginger rightfully won. Okay, we're not gonna play the lip sync, but what were your thoughts on the Who's Zooming Who shenanigans? And the acapella, first of all, them giving us this acapella song is so crazy with almost no time to learn it. That was absolutely insane.
Y'all don't understand the mess that was happening 2 seconds before. So we pulling up to the curtains backstage, and Cynthia's in the mirror giving. And you don't see Mistress walk up to her not having a single clue that she's lip syncing, because, you know, Mistress was living in her own world. And she walks up to Cynthia, she goes, sister, you're giving me chill. No, you said sister, she's giving me goosebumps.
Okay, so listen, before we went in, I really did not think I was lip syncing, so I'm trying to hype Cynthia up.
You really walked up to her and said, sister, you're giving me goosebumps. And we fell out because we were like, not this.
Girl, she's literally in the mirror, she's like, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, Cynthia, I literally have goosebumps.
Who did you think was lip syncing after them critiques?
I honestly thought Daya or you, bitch. I did not think I was gonna lip sync.
Daya didn't get critiqued, bitch.
At that point though, I thought Lydia, because I thought her. All we saw was the ending gown. I thought it was a little basic, and I remember she didn't get any laughs in Snatch Game from my perspective. So I was like, okay, maybe Lydia. But then I was like, I mean, it's no tea.
No, because Mistress was all untucked. Aja, I think you're in the bottom too, girl. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God. I was like, girl, I don't think I'm on the bottom at all, but okay.
I only thought that because you kept crashing out, girl. You were letting us have it. But also, at that point, I was fucked the fuck up. Do you remember in Untucked when I stood up and I started reading everyone? I go, listen. Bitch, it went down the line.
No, but see, Mistress would never read me because she secretly liked me. And she would sit there and she wouldn't read me. Girl, I was sitting there like, girl, why the girls ain't reading me? Read me.
Well, it's because like you and Bosco, like when I could tell people are actually clocked out, I leave them alone because I don't want to amplify no one's feelings. I want everyone to have a good time. I want it to all be in fun.
Not until you told me that you wouldn't take advice from anybody in my position.
Bitch, girl. We'll circle back on that next week. Okay, so we get to the Who's Zooming Who lip sync. We were given a robotic Give Me Tonight, bitch. I was just up. I look. It's giving fat Trixie Mattel. Look at Lydia watching me in the back. That's crazy. I'm sorry I slayed her, but should we get them insight on what happened in the Queen's Court when Cynthia came at dinner?
Oh my God. Okay, so y'all don't understand. We were staying together at this like trailer park. They said, girl, we're going to put y'all in the little trailer park, Miss Pussy. So we get up in there and we're eating. So it's all the girls who made it past, you know. Cynthia got eliminated. And we're eating dinner. We're eating like filet mignons and shit. And in comes Cynthia. She pulls a chair up to Mistress and goes...
Girl, you are wild. My motherfucking hair wrap is coming undone. I gotta be on my show. Thank you for coming and joining me on the channel. Let me reveal my bald head, my Sasha Velour moment. Can you take off your wig so I feel more comfortable? We're so real. Oh, that's not. Listen, why every live World of Wonder always gets us together? No, what happened to Mother? Oh my god, look, they got us together. She fucking took off her wig and World of Wonder said, absolutely not. Put that back on. The battery died, the girls got. Listen, I don't know what happened to her, but I'm gonna give a huge shout out to Aja. I love you so fucking much, sister. It has been such a fun time watching us act a fool on TV, and I cannot wait to see what happens in the next coming weeks. I am still manifesting that the crown is gonna be on my head, baby. Only time shall tell. And let me tell all the girls out there, let this be a lesson to y'all. It's not about what happens. If you stumble, we all have our bad days. Get the fuck up and show them why you're a bad bitch. It's all about how you recover and what happens after. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I love y'all so fucking much. Thank y'all for tuning in. And if you like content just like this, consider joining the Patreon. Click the link in the description. We have such an amazing community. Can we get some hearts in the chat for Aja? Hearts in the chat for all the queens and all the girls slaying on All Stars 10. I love y'all so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because when you do, I can bring amazing guests just like today's. Aja was so amazing. Check her out on social media. Stay tuned for RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 10 because, baby, expect the unexpected. You never know what it'll bring. Bye, horse. I gotta go put on my lashes. Bye.